It's adapted to the more of the mountainous areas of the Appalachian Mountains. It's where a lot of the seed stock comes from for these trees. And they're a very pretty tree. They're a soft-colored tree. They're a multicolored tree, depending on whether you're looking at the bottom of the needle or the top of the needle. They shear up, and they most of the time you don't have to do much shearing and pruning on these trees because they are just kind of natural, just fill in. It's a Cadillac tree of the industry right now. One of the joys of this is that we don't have to paint actually the tree, and I'll explain maybe that a little bit later as we get into another tree right here, what I mean by painting or dyeing. So with that's a Fraser fir, very nice tree. A little bit not adapted to this country, like I said, more from the Appalachian areas. So we have more of a trouble getting them started in the springtime in the first year or two of their growth because of the root systems. They don't like to actually take right off and go, but we changed their mind and get them to do it. Scotch pine, I really guess don't know exactly where it did originate, but it's kind of the old standby for Christmas trees. It's been around for lots and lots and lots of years. We started growing it back in the early 1950s, and but it takes a lot of pruning. And if you ever want to think about transplanting or things, Scotch pine is not the one to put in your yard because it's going to get pretty snarly looking and not grow very even and everything else. But for Christmas trees, the needle retention on them is super good. Like the Fraser's the best, but these are by far the second. And needle retention are drying out and falling off. But every year we talked about the dyeing or the spraying of them trees to put a green tint. Well, we spray the Scotch pine every year because in the fall they will put a little bit of yellow tint on the end of the needles and makes them look yellow in the fields. So we actually put a green dye on them to keep them green. Everybody does it every more so, but it's one of the things. It's just another process we have to do. Like I say, every year, every summer, it's pruned in the months of July and August to keep its shape. But they're the standby. Been around forever, and I think they will be around forever from now on. So this is a white pine. White pine is a beautiful tree in my book. They've got a real long, soft needle on them. You can play in them, and you can do whatever, and you won't get hurt in them. But they're native to this area. But they prune up very nicely. They make a very nice Christmas tree. But one of the major downfalls of these, and people, I like to remember, I always try to remember them or tell them that happens. They don't have the limb strength that a lot of the other trees do. In other words, if you like lots of ornaments, it won't hold the ornaments. They're going to droop like this. And so then it kind of opens the tree up, and they don't look quite as pretty because they don't come out and come up. But that is one of the downfalls of them. But other than that, a white pine to me is a very, very pretty tree. And if you got cats or whatever, they can get them. They go get hurt because you can't even get scratched out of this tree. Colorado blue spruce. Even when you get those, some of them are more blue than others. There's a lot of different varieties of the Colorado blue spruce. But they're a very pretty tree. But the needles are very stiff and very hard, and they will poke you. They'll even pretty draw blood if you aren't careful, I think. But they got a very good fragrance to them. So if you like the very fragrance of a pine tree in your house, then these are good. But don't put them up any earlier than you just have to for your Christmas. They will not hold the needle retention. They have a trouble without. They want to dry out. They want to drop needles. So 2 weeks in the house, maybe 3, good to go. But don't push them for that 4 and 5 weeks like a lot of people want, because they just won't do it. They're going to drop their needles big time. But they're a very nice yard tree. A lot of these are planted in people's yards and things for yard decoration and whatever you want to do with them. But they are a very nice tree. There are a lot of them adapted for this area. So we grow quite a few of these, and that's kind of about it. That's about the 4 main ones that we handle and use. So.